You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Jake, it is 2025. Welcome back to the show. It's going to be a beautiful year, everybody. And I'm potentially just saying that because my team should be good this year. Draft grades are in. The projected standings are in. Yahoo is probably wrong about everything as it is. I'm excited to get another rewind in with all the people. You know, Jake, people are going to have an incentive to listen this year.
Why is that?
Well, the reason for that, Jake, is because the marquee matchups will be announced in the lines.
Oh,
so
can't wait for them, actually.
I've got the marquee matchup selected for this week already. We will get to it when we do the matchup previews. Similar to last year, I think the agenda for this, I don't want to call it a rewind. Brandon called it a fast forward, and I kind of like that. So I'm gonna coin that. Shout out Brandon. In the fast forward this week, we're gonna go over the matchup previews, release the marquee matchup, and then Jake, you and I will predict all one game, not just marquee matchup.
Love it. Which also I just realized in the past 2 days, while we did this, I don't know if you saw this yet, but Yahoo's created their own game of the week.
Have they really?
I've seen that. Yeah, I don't know if it, what it actually does, but in some of my leagues, it just calls something the match of the week, and then it has a border in the Yahoo Fantasy app. So I'm not sure what it looks like on desktop, but yeah, okay. It keeps I think one of my leagues I'm the matchup of the week, and it's an actual border that looks different than the other leagues. Which is gonna this might confuse some of the people that are in our league.
Yeah, that would be.
This, but hopefully not.
Well,
That's the only reason I say that.
I guess there's always potential for us to use that. Let me see what it is.
It just was a terrible. The one league it was. I was part of the match of the week. It was really bad. So I don't know if it's actually accurate. I don't know how they did that.
I'm wondering if because it's week one, if it takes the record into account and it's really confused. Oh yeah, I see. Maybe. It says matchup of the week. Or unless that's my matchup of the week, and that's because it's before I even into the league. Does that?
Well, we'll figure it out, but just wanted to mention that before.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to ignore that. No, mine is. So if you go into the app and look at our league, Jake, does it say that my matchup against Lemons is the matchup of the week? That's what it's telling me.
Let me take a look.
And that's the worst matchup of the week, so.
Yeah, let's just see. And I'm not even 100% sure. Oh, yes. Yep, that's what I see.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you're correct.
Yahoo just created this right after we had this idea to do the matchup of the week.
Dude, they're stealing our ideas.
Instantly.
We should be getting
Somebody's
paid for
leaking this.
Yeah, no kidding. They must be watching this. They watch the fast forward, but somehow they get the early access before we even record it. Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to ignore that. You're right. That is going to be confusing. Okay. Well, thankfully, it's the worst matchup of the week that it is selected, so.
Yes.
Should be fine. Can't trust Yahoo to get anything right. Okay. Well, anyways, I guess on to the agenda for the fast forward. I think we're just going to go over the matchups, and then we'll talk about teams as we go through them. So I'll just go down the list. First up this week, we've got myself versus Lemons. Burrows Chubb, if you will. Lemons' projected total is a little deflated, similar to Burrows Chubb. Nice. Oh, I'm a little rusty. I got to get the soundboard out for that.
Boom. Roasted.
He's missing a kicker right now, so I'm sure he'll get that sorted by week one. He does not have a kicker on the roster, and he has two guys in the IR slots that are no longer injured, so he'll have to cut two guys. I don't think Quinshon Judkins qualifies for the IR as an NA player.
No, he
I know
doesn't.
Rashee Rice does not.
Hmm.
Um, that's all I got there. So, tack on. I can't believe Brandon Aubrey's only projected for 8. So I guess tack on like 8-ish for a kicker, and you got 116 to 134, which should, according to Yahoo, be a solid victory for me. But I look at Mike's team, and honestly, it's a good starting roster at least. I mean, Joe Burrow could be a stud. Terry hasn't really done anything in training camp, which would concern me. But at the same time, he was an absolute monster last year. So if he can do that, and Giants might be good to do that against, that's
Yeah, and this is probably, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing this is going to be one of the lowest projections for Joe Burrow this year. Being in Cleveland, that's probably my guess.
I would agree with
It's
you, Jake,
not
but
Yahoo.
apparently
Wow.
fake news. Yahoo's
Wow.
got Yahoo's in the off-season mode still. They have to update their projections.
Cleveland's
Yeah,
a
that is
pretty
actually.
solid defense usually, and it's Joe Burrow, and their defense isn't that good. So you'd think that they would project him more than I think Baker Mayfield's projected at least over 20 for sure. I know that's why I said like it's Cleveland, so I'm guessing they're going to project him for more. But wow, even Jane Daniels, so they're pretty conservative in their quarterback projections. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm wondering if these projections will increase over time. It's kind of weird to see week 1 be the highest projected week. Usually, how it seems to have been in the NFL the past couple of years is defenses start pretty hot and offenses kind of ramp up. Not as much scoring. So if it were me, I would have the first couple weeks probably be the lower scoring weeks for basically everybody, unless they're a vet, maybe an older guy. Someone
Especially
like Adam
with,
Thielen.
I'm pretty sure most of these not all, but a lot of these are going to be divisional games in week one,
True.
and these teams, yeah, they know each other pretty well, so that makes sense. But overall, Lemon's team's going to be projected more than 116 most weeks.
I would agree. I think at least this is a good starting lineup. I like DK Metcalf, Ashton Genty, and James Cook. Both could be absolute monsters. Trey McBride was a PPR machine last year. If you mix touchdowns in, he could easily be the tight end 1. Pacheco is the starting running back on the Chiefs, and he was very good the past couple of years. I know last year he had the injury, kind of derailed his season. They brought in Kareem Hunt, so I don't know if people are worried about Kareem Hunt. Seems like a guy that's totally fine in the flex. Bench, I mean, Brian Robinson got traded to the Niners between now and the draft. Also a keeper of lemons. Nice. Which is a pro and a con, I guess. One of the pros being Christian McCaffrey is probably a good 50-50 to get hurt this year for extended time. And Brian Robinson would be that guy, I would think. And another pro would be no longer have 3 Washington players, you just have 2. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if you want that many pieces from Washington, but who knows? The rest of it, I mean, he's got 4 tight ends on the roster, so you might see 2 tight ends get cut to make room for guys in the IR. Kind of questionable to have 4 tight ends, but I mean, Dak's good, Hawkinson fine, Judkins, news about Judkins every day. It seems like. I don't know what you've been hearing, Jake, but I've been hearing there are
Usually
talks
not
that
great news.
that's
Usually not great news.
that is fair. Oh, I heard some positive news. I don't know if that was today or yesterday. They were talking how he might be playing this week or back with the team soon. So, never know. I say back with the team. I should probably say with the team because he has never been with the team.
Yeah. I had been drafting him in a couple leagues like two or 3 weeks ago, and then I'd say in the last week, I've just completely avoided him in like the last 2 or 3 drafts. Just something about how many different running backs I've seen from Cleveland use. I understand that there's the upside there, and but man, like this year, I don't know how much unless he's like he becomes a keeper for next year. Like I could see some value, but this year is going to be tough. I guess it's worth a shot in the later rounds, I guess.
Especially
All
in
I can
this league,
say.
because like you said, if
Yeah.
if there is a chance that he could be that guy, I mean, he was one of the last picks of the draft, right? I mean, can't beat that for value on a keeper.
Yeah.
On my side of the ball, Jake, I just love this team, dude.
I've been coming. I'm going to continue to come.
I've
I
got
think it's a good team.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I had a ton of picks early, so it
You know
better
what?
be a good team.
I think it's a really good team, especially that I wanted to draft like half of these guys, and you picked one pick before me because that seems to happen every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the soundboard is back, baby. Jane Daniels, Drake London, T. Higgins, good wide receivers, keeper quarterback, got him late. Chase Brown, James Conner should be a solid duo. George Kittle, I'm really big on George Kittle this year, mostly because San Fran doesn't seem to really have any other pass catchers. Everybody seems to be hurt or in a contract talk or both. Shout out Juwan Jennings. Mike Evans in the flex feels disgusting, especially with no Godwin early. Travion Henderson, Pollard, Pierce Hall, all these guys solid. Khalil Shakir, probably the worst player on my team, I would say, and he was a keeper. So the team was rough last year. And apparently I have an empty bench slot. Oh, no. Maybe I do.
Looks like you do.
Huh. Well, there you go. I'll be hitting the waiver wire after this show. So, all right, there's the matchup here. Jake, who do you got to win? This is not the marquee matchup, contrary to Yahoo.
Well, I've got you. I do really like the team that you drafted. Let's see. I think Travion Henderson, and I don't remember exactly like if there was a space in between rounds, but I think him and Matthew Golden, I want to say like back to back or like within a couple rounds, you kept taking my guy. It's like, and I'm just trying to find keepers out here, But no, this is a good team. It's going to be interesting once Godwin comes back or Ibuka starts to play really well, like he potentially could be. You're going to actually have some decisions this year with the flex.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be tempting not to start Evans because he's going to get his 1,000 yards like always. But no, this is a more competitive team than last year, no doubt about it.
You're not wrong. Mike Evans could be interesting for me this year just because he's a lot more boom bust than I guess the every year 1,000-yard receiver would probably lead on to. I don't know. For all the people out there that have owned Mike Evans in fantasy football, I think you understand. But as a habitual Mike Evans owner, not necessarily to my liking. He'll have some off weeks, he'll have some okay weeks, and then all of a sudden he'll drop like 45 points. And if you're not starting him when he drops 45 points, homie.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well, as a T. Higgins owner, the same thing can happen with him too. Now it might be less this year. I like the Bengals offense just feels like they're set up where T. Higgins isn't going to have so many of those weeks with their defense being so bad still.
Yeah.
So I feel really good about T. Higgins this year, but he's probably in the same boat, I would say.
I would agree, especially if that offense can stay healthy. I mean, there's no reason that Cincinnati's defense won't still be shit. So,
yeah,
offense is going to have to cook, or else. I've noticed that in this matchup, Lemons and I have a little bit of an inverse stack going on here. Jaden Daniels versus Terry, Joe Burrow versus T. Higgins. That's used to have the Washington running back, and then I had the back. Very interesting. So I'm going to take myself here too. I'm going to move on. Next up, Jake, your matchup against Nick.
It's a tough one.
Oh, I think his
this is a really tough
up.
matchup for week one. My projection's looking honestly really solid for how not feeling the best with this team at the moment. But one thing I did think about after the draft is I feel like I'm kind of boxing myself into the same thing as last year where I wasn't super happy with my team, but also I didn't give myself as many keeper potential guys as I would have liked to. Like I sent a trade over. Actually, Brandon messaged both of us today about Tet McMillan, and I remember that I drafted Devontae one spot before him, and I sent him an offer of Devontae for Tet, and he was not interested, which I think is fair enough at this point. I do like Devontae for the record, but I thought the keeper potential of Tet was where I could actually benefit from that maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Devontae is probably going to be I don't want to say exactly like Mike Evans, but I think he's going to kind of do the same thing. And that's what we saw with him last year on the Jets. Actually, at the end of last season, he played super well. Different situation. Stafford's health is the biggest thing
Yeah,
for that.
that's what I was going to say too. I think the risk for Devontae Adams isn't in Devontae Adams, it's in Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Which
Also,
is
looking at
funny.
the quarterback matchups, like we talked about, with some of these quarterback projections being low, I was extremely surprised to see being like within a point or two of Josh Allen week 1. I get they're playing Baltimore, but I was just really surprised by that.
Yeah, I feel like both of these quarterback projections are a little low. I'd take the over on Hurts against Dallas
Yeah.
because Dallas' defense with no Micah
They
Parsons.
just lost Michael Parsons. Yeah.
Thing. I would think that their defense takes a big step back and Jalen should be able to pick them apart pretty well. I would hope if I were cheering for Jalen Hurts there. Josh Allen is Josh Allen, and he is a stud. So
Biggest thing with my lineup right now. Well, first of all, I wish I had a slightly better running back than David Montgomery as my second running back. My keepers were not the best. I did have to keep Jaden Reed this year. It was just not something I wanted to do, but that's where we were at. And as of right now, I did move Jameson into the flex over Garrett Wilson because I'm playing Nick, and we'll talk about Nick's team in a second, but it felt like I needed to do that. The upside of Jameson. I know he's playing the Packers defense and everything, but this is a matchup I think I've got to go for like the highest upside guys I possibly can because Nick's team is very strong.
I actually saw. I was looking through the matchups earlier today, and I saw that Garrett Wilson was in your flex over JMO, and I thought to myself, if I were Jake, I think I'd start JMO.
Yeah,
So I'm happy to see that.
As of right now, I'm going to do it in week 1, and the Packers would have to. Honestly, here's the deal: it's JMO, so that he could have 2 catches and get 25 points.
Correct.
Which I would be very. Also, Garrett Wilson with Justin Fields. We'll see how that goes. I still feel fine about it, but week 1, I think I feel pretty fine with Jameson there.
Against Pittsburgh for Garrett Wilson is a tough matchup, man. I mean, I think Garrett Wilson should be able to do totally fine in PPR. You know, I think he'll get plenty of volume. I worry about their touchdown opportunities in New York, but see how it goes. Yeah, if I were you, the news about Jaden Reed playing on the Jones fracture would make me sick.
Tough. That is tough.
And you could have had the guy get the surgery, during the preseason sometime when it seemed to be diagnosed, and dude could have missed a few weeks, been back before the midpoint of the season, and be fine. And now you have to think that I don't know what to expect from Jaden Reed. As a Packer fan, I'm very upset that he didn't get the surgery. Seems like they think he doesn't need it. Probably just a pain tolerance thing, but I hope you're ready for didn't practice, questionable, game time decision. All right, he's playing.
Yeah, I don't expect to be forced into playing Jaden Reed other than bye weeks this year, hopefully. But you're right. And Jaden Reed was my favorite Packer receiver last year, and I imagined, while I was keeping him, I did imagine Matthew Golden helping out a little bit. I did think, Jaden Reed might get a little bit more action with defenses having to worry about Golden. I know it's kind of the inverse, like they added a receiver, but I felt like with Jaden Reed's role, he could get some more work. But yeah, the Jones fracture news was
You need some Bill Krosky in your life, Jake.
Yeah, I was happy to take him, and they just announced that Eckler is the starter. Eckler sucks. He literally sucks. But his projections are rough. He's going to – there's a very realistic chance of him being fantasy relevant, so I've got roster guys like that on this team. But, yeah, you could see I've got a couple running backs that I'm just hoping somebody –
You've got a lot of dart throws, right? I mean, you've got double Jacksonville, not Travis Etienne. So you've got a little more juice hoping that one of those guys wins out.
Jordan Mason, I think, is going to be really relevant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, he's Aaron Jones, right? He's a great running back, but he's not really built to get all the carries. And Jordan Mason should be able to, take I think Jordan Mason's good for double-digit touches a game. And if Aaron Jones does go down, Jordan Mason becomes probably a borderline RB1, man. He should be a stud.
Yeah.
Depends on how Minnesota's offense turns out this year, but if it's anything like last year, I mean, that's a great pick. I also like Jordan Mason quite a bit this year. You got Braylon Allen, who's supposedly going to get more work this year. Brees Hall is kind of upset about that. So that'll be interesting. On Nick's side of the ball, he's got Christian McCaffrey. Love to see it. Bucky Irving. Boy, stud. He's got Malik Neighbors, BTJ, and Lad McConkey, a wide receiver. Talk about a trio. I think you're disrespecting BTJ a little bit by putting him in the flex. I would put Lad there personally. I'm a little lower on Lad than consensus.
It's that Friday. It's that
It is.
Friday
He's
game.
being a savvy fantasy manager, and I don't like it, Brinkman. I don't like it. Get Lad McConkey in your flex up until kickoff. Put some respect on BTJ's name. Lane will tell you, if you don't respect your Jags, they're going to bite you in the ass. And even when you do respect them, they'll probably still lose. But DJ's special. Josh Allen, a quarterback, you can't really beat him unless you have Lamar, and even then, your much may vary. Sam Laporta at tight end is probably the weakest link of his team, and from what I didn't have any Sam Laporta last year, but from what I remember, he started really bad and he picked up late. So am I accurate in that, Jake? Did
you
pick
are.
Up at the
you
end?
are accurate in that, and I didn't really draft him anywhere in redraft. I've still got him in Dynasty, but honestly, though, with tight ends like after McBride, or actually after Kittle, I should say, then it's like, and I say that as the Travis Kelce owner. That was me kind of just, I don't know. This is the only league I drafted Travis Kelce, and I
should
really
be
hadn't
electric
tried to do that. But
with no Rashee Rice, and then once Rashee Rice comes back,
yes,
I would be afraid.
Yeah, so I felt like I can get. I honestly feel like I can get a tight end from the waiver if I have to at this point, without tight ends play.
Yeah.
These days, but I drafted like David Njoku in every other league, and then maybe like some Tyler Warren mixed in there. I didn't draft any of those tight ends like Laporta.
Sure.
I guess Kelce was the only one.
Brinkman's bench looks pretty solid too. He's got a good mix of potential and some security here. He's got rookies: Travis Hunter, Marion Hampton, Emeka Egbuka, Tesla. All four of those guys are high potential rookies. I'm not that big on Tesla.
This is literally my
fantasy
dynasty team. His bench is my dynasty team.
Wow.
Marion Hampton, Travis Hunter, Brock Purdy, Tesla.
Tesla kind of sucks. So
his bench. Yeah, no, he does. No, honestly, Tesla is not going to be relevant for a while.
Probably not.
I don't think he's going to be super relevant this year.
He's probably good for the Lions.
Legit.
Yeah.
He is actually good.
From what they are talking about in camp, he sounds really good. I think he might be better for the Lions than he'll be for your fantasy team, at least first half of the season. But Brinkman's team is deep enough. I mean, I love George Pickens a lot, especially after the Parsons trade. I think Dallas is going to be throwing the ball quite a bit this year. Same reasoning with Jake Ferguson. He's a great backup tight end. In my opinion, Jake Ferguson might be seeing your starting lineup, Brinkman. A little more than Laporta this year. There quickly became a lot of mouths to feed in Detroit. To me, to be a successful fantasy tight end, you have to be an absolute force and or be one of the top two targets in the offense. And I don't think Sam Laporta is either of those personally. Just my opinion. Fuck Sam Laporta. Brock Purdy, quarterback.
If you're not an Amon-Ra guy, then you can be a big Laporta guy.
That's true. That is true. Is it bad that I'm kind of not really both this year? Same reason.
So you're a huge JMO guy. No, you're a big Lions rushing game guy, which is the true winner.
Kind of true, actually. I'd take Gibbs. I don't know if I'd really be super excited. JMO's probably the number 2 for me, funny enough, just because of where he goes in drafts compared to everybody else. I like where he's at. I don't know. There's so many guys there that people are expecting to be good. I think a handful of them are going to disappoint you, and I don't know if I really want to be a part of that. Oh, I almost forgot. Jake, I assume you have yourself to win.
Yep.
Are you really gonna hurt your stats like that?
Yes, I'm gonna pick myself to win.
I'm gonna take Nick B.
Oh, hot take.
I don't know if it is, man. All right, moving on. We've got Jurassic Barkley. Oh, the projections have all changed. I wonder if people have been changing their team. This was the matchup of the week, I won't lie. Oh, yeah, the projections have changed quite a bit. All right, the matchup of the week. Oh, God, no. 1 second. All right, yep. Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, this is no longer the matchup of the week. Week one's matchup, the marquee matchup, is going to be tough. I'm going strictly off projections, and when people change their lineups, the projections change. I'm going to call it out tonight, and it's just going to be what it is, all right? And it's not this. It was this like 4 hours ago. Cade had like no draft picks this year, and in my opinion, still managed to draft a pretty darn good team, all things considered. Preston, the fantasy football terrorist, full chub. Whole league was talking about his team name, and by whole league I mean Brandon. Yeah, Preston's team is. I personally hate it. There are opportunities for it to be good. His running backs, JT, Josh Jacobs, very good. Brees Hall could be good. I'm worried about him this year a little bit, but as a flex guy, he's probably fine. You got Ramondre, Dylan Sampson, Trey Benson. He's got a little bit of upside there. You know, Ramondre kind of sucks, but that's okay. Puka, great. Tyreek Hill could be great. I'm kind of worried he might be washed, in all honesty. I don't know how you feel about that, Jake.
I heard today they didn't give him a captain this year
That's
for the
interesting.
team, which I know literally means nothing. It doesn't mean much,
Yeah.
but it is funny. Mostly because he literally did not want to be on the Dolphins anymore. So I get why they did not make him a team captain, because that would be
I respect that decision.
pretty brutal. But yeah, I get why you say that this team doesn't look great.
Dallas Goedert
looking
sucks.
at like Mahomes and Tyreek killing Dallas Goedert and throwing Cooper Kupp for good measure there. Like all these guys that you're probably not really excited to draft.
I'm not sure
but
Mahomes was a top 10 quarterback at all last year, like any games.
I don't think he was.
You could
either.
convince
so
me that
like,
I'm right.
And I also didn't draft Mahomes anywhere. It's like went the complete opposite way and not. Also, their division's got some really good defenses too, so it doesn't help.
Yeah,
and that he really takes out his own
defense is good.
receivers.
That's true. He hates Rashee Rice. I was going to say
Best targets. He literally hates his best
Sky
players.
Moore. Yeah,
He also asked to draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Jonathan Taylor. So
yeah,
he's self-sabotaging his own offense.
He just wants Travis Kelce to eat. Taylor Swift is paying him.
Yeah, I think so.
Freshly engaged Travis Kelce, Jake. Are you going to work that into the team name at some point this year?
I might have to. I haven't thought about it too much yet, but I do expect Kelce to be better than he was last year, which we'll see how that goes. But out of every position, if I have to scramble for someone, tight end is the one I'd feel most comfortable grabbing someone off the waiver wire or trading a late pick for potentially, which I don't necessarily want to do, but we'll see.
Bold move of Yahoo projecting Jordan Addison at .06 week 1 as he suspended 3 games. Love that. How do you feel about Zay Flowers this year? Because his projection is pretty high, and I don't know. I just can't hop on that train.
I don't hate Zay Flowers at all. I didn't like him last year, but he was good. I mean,
he was
not like I've drafted him anywhere, but that was the thing. Like Lamar was putting up really good passing numbers actually to support his rushing numbers as well. It doesn't help that Josh Allen actually runs the ball a lot too. So the MVP, it was very fair that Josh Allen won. Also, I think his touchdown to interception was insane last year, I want to say. But no, to answer your question, I do like Zay Flowers. His projection is like maybe 2 points higher than I would have guessed.
Would you be playing Zay Flowers over Brees Hall?
Yeah, over against the Pittsburgh defense.
I think I would be personally, yes. There you go, Preston. You're welcome. He won't listen. There's no way Manti listens to these.
The week 0 preview. There's no shot.
All right, Cade's got Jurassic Barkley, which was Cade. You weren't in the draft room on the day of the draft, but when Brandon saw your name, he was confused at what you were talking about at first. He thought that was Charles Barkley in your picture for a second there because it was so small on the phone. You couldn't really see the picture. He's like, "Is this a Charles Barkley joke?" And then he's like, "Oh,
and nobody
it's
ever calls Saquon just Barkley."
Yeah, it's true. Usually it's Saquon and not Barkley. Yeah. That's funny. So, I personally big fan of it. It was good entertaining.
I like it too.
Yeah, it was peak entertainment during the draft. Brandon was like, "Charles Barkley, Why? All right, Jared Goff, a quarterback who ended the year last year lights out. The rest of the year was kind of bad, and I think people forget about that. However, in my analysis, I do like to say that I think there are too many mouths to feed in Detroit, and in my eyes, that's usually really good for a quarterback. So Jared Goff will probably be fine this year. My
Did lose
opinion.
Ben Johnson, but
Yep.
He's still got a good offensive line. They lost one lineman.
Yeah,
and
one of the best linemen in the NFL, best center. Yeah.
He did lose that, but the tackles are still pretty strong, and he's got so many.
And I think
weapons.
They had a first or second year guy at center to replace him too, so he was a higher draft pick. I remember.
They did.
So
yeah,
their offensive line should still be definitely above league average and probably top 10, top 5. So
also helps their coach is a maniac, and they literally do not kick field goals. So guys like him and Hurts do get more points than that. Like I really do think that's a fact.
Which makes Preston's kicker
Campbell
even more questionable.
More
Jake Bates, come on, Manthai. I hate Preston's
Detroit kicker might be the worst kicker in the league, actually.
Yeah, unironically, like you might as well have the Giants
Eagles
kicker.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's fair too. The tush push will get you. So, anywho, Nico Collins should be a stud. JSN, if he continues what he was doing last year, he very easily could be a stud. I feel like his projection might be just a hair high, but he could easily break that. So, dealer's choice. Saquon, dog. Alvin Kamara, dog. Kinda. Mark Andrews, fuck that guy.
Boom.
Yeah,
Roasted.
I was a Mark Andrews owner last year, and I support that.
Yeah. Couldn't be me. I don't know I've never owned Mark Andrews in my life.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts for life.
Oh, God. Calvin Ridley, I think, is underrated. I actually really like Calvin Ridley.
Except for week 1, right? Pat Surtain.
I suppose, yeah. You're not wrong.
That's the only reason I'll say.
Part of me doesn't really
quarterback,
care.
Pat Surtain, I don't know, that 16 seems a little high, but it is Tennessee, and they're going to be down, and they are going to have to
he's going to get like 12-plus targets every week, right? I don't know who else I actually don't know who else catches a football there. Do they still have Westbrook Akine? Like, they have Chigakonkwo.
Yeah, they've got Okonkwo.
I don't know who else catches footballs in Tennessee.
All I can think of is I think Xavier Restrepo, which I think would be their fourth wide receiver. Like I only know the guys that would
be that rookie
waiver wire in Dynasty. I think so.
They named him. Yeah, they named him one of their starting wide receivers over somebody today. I saw a notification about him, and I was like, oh, don't care. Okay, yeah. So I think Calvin Ridley's a good volume play in PPR this year. I had him last year. He won me a title. Not in this league, different league.
I guess you can't really start anybody else. I do like Marvin Mims Jr. for the record, but you probably don't do that.
Well, he tweaked his groin, which really sucks because.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. A week or two ago, I think it was right after our draft. He tweaked his groin, I think, which is a huge bummer. And the rest of the rest of Cade's bench is kind of just potential and scrubs, which isn't really his fault. He had like 5 picks in the last round of the draft, so. I mean, Scadaboo's potential. Eckler, you could maybe throw in. I wouldn't throw him in over Calvin Ridley personally, but he's a guy you could probably flex in a pinch as long as he's the starter in Washington. If Bill Krosky comes in here and takes over and, as Jake says, takes down the trash Austin Eckler, who sucks at football, then
he does. Even though he had been on my team as a keeper for multiple years, but I didn't see his demise coming. It was very abrupt that he just became so trash, and I guess that was joining the Commanders, even though they're good. He just
did he hurt your feelings?
Doesn't play as well, not being in the Chargers. Yeah, he did actually with how poorly he played. He really did.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Cade's bench stinks, which you kind of expect. I honestly, I'm going through this. I was surprised at how much I liked his starting lineup for what he had for draft picks to work with. So for me, I'm taking Cade in this one.
I'm going to take Preston in this one.
All right. 2 differences in 3 picks, Jake.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Sutton's sticky hands. Oh God. If I was monetized, that might get me demonetized. And we've got all reliable Chase Bank from Greg. Well, I don't bank at Chase, so I guess I can't comment on how reliable they are. But I know Greg likes to start Jamar Chase most years. Oh God.
Boom. Roasted.
Baker Mayfield at quarterback should be fine. He was great last year. As long as the touchdowns keep coming, he'll be fine. Jamar Chase, having to start Jalen Waddle week 1 is really tough to me. I think he could be good this year, with the absence of Jonnu. If Miami turns it around a little bit, Tua stays healthy, Jalen Waddle could be good. But holy man, do I not want to start Jalen Waddle week 1. I think I'd rather start Austin Eckler, and that might be criminal of me, but that's my personal opinion. Jahmyr Gibbs is a stud. RJ Harvey is kind of in a similar boat for me with Jalen Waddle, where I don't really want to start him week 1 just because Dobbins is the named starter. I'm more okay
Tennessee
with
has
Harvey.
a good run defense.
That's true.
Yeah, Tennessee's got a good run defense.
At least
too.
they did last year. I mean, you never know this year, but yeah, you would expect that the run defense is good. RJ Harvey is currently not the starting running back. He'll probably get at least a decent amount of work just because of how much Denver projects to run the football. But I would not be wanting to start RJ Harvey. Brock Bowers is a dog. Tyrone Tracy should be fine for at least the first few weeks. We'll see what Scadaboo does. I was really afraid of Scadaboo around draft time, and I'm starting to get more confident in Tracy this year. We'll see. I think Scadaboo can be good, but Tracy should be a fine start to start the year off. His bench, ETN, Keenan Allen. I mean, Keon Coleman has a lot of upside. Jaden Higgins has upside. Godwin should be back at some point. Greg's probably going to listen to this show because Greg loves the boys. Whoa. But I did this to him last year, and he was pretty good last year. Dare I say, one of the best teams in the league last year. And I think I'm going to do it again. I think Greg's team sucks.
Okay, I have to say something. I have to back you up here, and I don't want to hate on Greg's team. I think I did it a couple times last year too, but I have to say this was to me, Nick's keepers very good. Greg's keepers were some of the best keepers I've seen since 2018, 2017.
Chase Gibbs and Bowers.
Chase Gibbs and then Bowers on the 13th.
Yeah, Bowers was the
I really don't. I know Greg listens. I'm sorry, Greg, but I don't understand. I feel like you're missing 4 draft picks here.
and
I just don't understand what happened here.
He did have a few draft picks traded away. I'm gonna pull up the draft real quick.
I need to see that information because that's probably what happened.
He had a couple picks. I think his 7th rounder, I want to say, was gone, and I want to say he might have had one earlier than that too.
That would make sense.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so he was missing his 2nd, right? But I will say you can swap Brock Bowers straight into that spot and not miss anything. And then he was missing his 7th and a 9th, but he had a bonus 10.
So the 4 through 6, he had the 4 through 6, but I'm just not seeing.
This is what he's missing, Jake. He's missing 4 through 6.
I'm not seeing that at all.
I agree. Well, I could probably tell you who it is, right? One of them is going to be Tracy.
Waddle.
You think? Yeah, one of them could be Waddle. And
CJ Stroud? Is that way too early?
It's probably too early. Stroud's going undrafted in a lot of leagues.
Okay.
RJ Harvey. It'll be Harvey, Tracy, and Waddle, I think. Maybe Baker.
I like Baker Mayfield, but I'm surprised he didn't get a better quarterback.
What happened?
If he doesn't have I gotta see this.
How do I? Go to draft history.
Go to draft up there, yeah.
Draft picks, is that what it is? Nope. Oh, here we go. My team. All right, Greg, where are we at here? Oh,
this is not helping.
No, it's not. Draft results. There we go. Now we got her.
Okay, let's see.
All right, round 4.
Hey, go by team. It doesn't matter, I guess.
I was gonna go round 4. Chase Bank, RJ Harvey. Okay, my opinion, highly questionable. Then it was Tracy. Okay, we nailed it. Harvey, Tracy, Waddle, and then he missed this pick, so this was Brandon's, and then he drafted Baker, and then he missed that pick.
I do like the Baker pick.
Yeah, Baker's
That
fine.
pick I'm a big fan of. He was really good. I honestly think he finished like top 4, top 5, maybe not top 4, but like he was
Yeah.
way up there last year. And Godwin's out, but Ibuka's going to be good. Like
Yep.
that's a really good pick. But yeah,
We'll see how
I'm
long
not
Godwin's
sold on
out for.
just not sold on RJ Harvey, Tracy. Waddle he's fine.
I think Waddle can be good. I just don't want to start him week 1 because he was so bad last year. Like, I don't know if he cracked the top 36 wide receivers last year. Like, he was bad last year, from what I can remember at least. And I would like to see a week if it were me, but I don't think Greg has that luxury. I think unless he's plugging Keenan Allen in, which I'd probably advise against, or Keon Coleman if you want to go for some upside. Yeah, I don't know. Greg, I feel like I always hate on your team, and I want to apologize for that.
Absolutely hating more than ever. This is an all-time hate.
I want to apologize for hating on your team, but I'm not going to because it's your fault that it sucks. Jalen Waddle last year in full PPR was the wide receiver 46, according to Sleeper. Career low in fantasy points, only 151 on the season.
I'll just
in
say
15
it
games.
feels like with this type of team where you already know you have Jamar Chase, and Brock Bowers and Gibbs, like just fill the holes that you have to with guys that you know are going to be good.
Yeah,
you don't have to get these guys like Jalen Waddle. Even like if I will say if it was like Xavier Worthy, I would have felt a little better. Even though we talk about how Mahomes isn't the best, but Miami's just not. Oh, it's not fun to pick with Tua at the helm. But then again, Waddle could just he could literally become like a top 15 receiver.
Yeah,
pretty easily. So.
Oh, I agree.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, I think we blue balled Brandon enough by hating on Greg and not talking about his team. So let's see what we got going on Brandon's side. All right, we got the Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton stack. So I'm gonna come out here and say it. All right, I am not a believer. Okay, I think he can be good. I think he's probably fine. He runs the ball a lot, which I do like in fantasy football. That's why I was a big Anthony Richardson guy last year. For those that remember the lore, I don't want to start him in my fantasy football teams. But if you have Cortland Sutton, it makes a little more sense to me. I can get behind that. Pat McMillan, I think should be a dog. I don't know what he's dealing with. Is it a hammy, quad, a hammy? That somewhat concerning, but he's probably fine. Achane and
they just traded Adam Thielen also. So
that is true.
Good for week 1.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually huge for Tet because as funny as it is to say it, I think Adam Thielen was his biggest obstacle in Carolina. Adam Thielen kind of feasted last year, and Deontay Johnson at that when he was on the team before he swapped, and went to like 4 different rosters in the span of a month. Rip Deontay Johnson, that was my guy, dude. Ted McMillan, I mean, it's similar to Calvin Ridley. There's not really anybody else there to catch the football. Were they the ones that signed Hunter Renfrow? Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think Coker's out too right now.
Correct. Coker is on the IR, and they have Xavier Legette, Brandon's guy.
Yeah.
Shout out Brandon. I know he'll hear that because this is his team. Achane and Bijan, dogs, probably, you're talking top 10 running backs each. Bijan shooting for number 1. Achane, if he stays healthy, could easily be number 1 too. It's a bit of a risk with Achane, but, sometimes you got to play with the fire. That's what wins championships. David Njoku should be great for as long as Flacco's the quarterback. DJ Moore.
For as long as he's healthy.
that too. Yep.
Love Njoku, so very happy with that pick. I don't know what Jerry Jeudy's going to be this year. I'll say that on his bench.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. With him and Tillman, I feel like last year there wasn't really a good stretch where they had Flacco and then all those guys healthy. So I'm interested to see how that shakes out too, because I think Njoku will get his no matter what. And I don't know what's going to happen with Tillman and Jeudy. I mean, with Joe Flacco as quarterback, that offense could be better than people are maybe giving it credit for. They're probably going to be throwing the ball because I don't know if the running game's going to really exist at the start of the year. We'll see. I don't know if I trust Jerome Ford that much, I guess. Oh, he has Judy on the bench. I see why you mentioned it. He has a lot of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford, too. Interesting. Juwan Jennings, I like, but he's dealing with that hammy, and I don't think he's really been in camp at all this year because he was in that contract dispute at the beginning of camps. I'm usually very anti players that didn't participate in camp. I find that they're a larger injury risk than typical. I don't know if that's a real stat, but that's my gut. So that makes me a little sad because I like Juwan Jennings a lot this year. I know your boy George really liked Juwan Jennings last year. Devontae is the starter currently. Josh Downs, Kyle Pitts. The rest of his team kind of stinks. Joe Mixon, if he ever plays football again, might be okay. And Jalen McMillan's probably irrelevant. Can get cut when he comes back from IR.
So I last year was drafting Caleb Williams a little bit, and I was thinking about it this year. I might be completely out on drafting Caleb Williams this year. And the Micah Parsons news does not help.
I just think he sucks.
There's so many. He also was. Oh my god! All I can picture is him having some fine pockets. Like their offensive line actually got better this year, but he just wasn't staying in the pocket. Like he would just be running circles like he's playing in college, and
Yeah.
not the right division to be doing that.
No, not at all. Yeah, I fully agree. We got some loaded teams in the NFC North, man. This should be a good division again this year, which kind of sucks. But hey.
Yeah.
Who do you got here, Jake?
I've got Brandon's team. I really like Brandon's team. I'm a bigger believer than you as well.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I did grab like Cortland Sutton, a couple places. But yeah, I mean, Brandon's bench, don't need to worry about it. Don't even have to look at it for week one, luckily.
Agreed,
So,
because I don't really like Brandon's bench, and honestly, I don't really like DJ Moore. But I if there is a bear that I'm gonna have in my team, it'll be him. Newsflash: I have 0 in any of my leagues, but if there were to be one, it would be DJ Moore. So fair enough.
I think I've just got Colston Loveland in like 1 or 2 leagues, and that's it.
Yeah, that guy sucks too, but he's probably pretty good. But he has Caleb Williams as the quarterback, so we'll never know.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're both taking Brandon here. Sorry, Greg, but this is gonna actually feed Greg because when he wins,
Yes.
he'll probably be on the rewind next year just so he can talk a bunch of shit to us, and then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last year we said he couldn't be on the rewind until he won, and this team,
This
with the keepers, like he was ready to be on the rewind.
Yeah. All right, we've got the marquee matchup, the toilet bowl here.
Let's go.
You know, I'm gonna have to come up with a button for the marquee matchup, aren't I? Did I do like a little drop for it?
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool. I'll have to think that up. That might take.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
All right, we got Lane and George. This will be the marquee matchup of the week, everybody. So for those that don't remember or don't read the chat, I mean, if you don't read the chat, you're probably not listening, but I'll say it anyways. I'll put it in the messenger chat, and everybody will pick their winner. Just drop it in the chat, let me know, or DM me if that makes you feel better, so people can't steal your picks. And let me know who you think is going to win the matchup. If you're correct, I will drop a bonus 3 fab in your fab wallet for the year to pick up free agents. That vote was 6-0, by the way, so there were a handful of people that didn't vote, but it was unanimous. So we're calling it dub. Yeah, and it was 6, so it was already a majority. So that was pretty cool.
I'm already seeing some non-veteran moves from our marquee matchup of the week.
Bum, bum, bum.
Not that it matters for week one. It's just such a fun thing to talk about every week.
Well, Jake, when Xavier Worthy plays on Friday, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. pulls up with a hammy at practice on Saturday, well.
Or if there's any Call of Duty playing and you don't want to play it, anyone related to Kyler.
Hey, Call of Duty, the new COD has not come
both.
out yet, right? Oh,
No.
Granted,
No.
Maybe he's playing the old COD.
Maybe.
Oh boy. All right, we got Lane and George here. This should be a fun matchup. I can already hear George texting Lane saying, "Bro, I'm gonna kick your ass this week. You suck." Oh, I love you, George. Lane's got Kyler Murray, who I think kind of sucks, but Amon-Ra is great. Marvin Harrison is kind of boom bust. Let's see if he can kind of take that step up from last year. Last year was very inconsistent, and apart from a couple games last year, it was mostly you're either very upset or you're, just okay with his results. There were a few games that he had a bunch of touchdowns and made everything better, but let's see if he can take that step. The Saints don't have Lattimore anymore, I believe, so that's big. Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker should be stud running backs for as long as they are healthy. Dalton Kincaid is another one of those guys that kind of needs to take a step. I had Dalton Kincaid last year, and let me tell you, it was the worst. I traded for Jake Ferguson because I had Kincaid and I had freaking Mark Andrews allegedly, and Mark Andrews made me so sick to my stomach that I traded him to Jake so I could play Jake Ferguson over Dalton Kincaid, and then Jake Ferguson proceeded to get hurt that next week, and Mark Andrews scored a touchdown every week after that. So
Yes.
that fucker.
Helped me to get a better pick to then have you steal all my guys.
It's
It
disgusting.
all goes back to
Yeah,
Mark Andrews.
yeah, you're darn right, buddy. Xavier Worthy should be a great play for as long as Rashee Rice is out, and maybe beyond that. I mean, for all we know, Xavier Worthy's the guy. I don't know.
Definitely beyond that, in my opinion. I'm a Xavier Worthy guy.
Yeah, I think
Fair,
he'll
but
at least have fantasy relevance beyond that. Whether or not he'll be as good, I mean, probably not, right? But you never know. I think Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce probably clash a little more than Xavier Worthy does with those guys. So Xavier Worthy's probably a pretty good play most of the year, assuming him and Mahomes stay healthy. Devonta Smith on the bench. Ooh, go ahead, Jake.
I'm just gonna say, like, even watching the Super Bowl, it seems like when Mahomes gets frustrated at all, he's just gonna chuck it down the field to Xavier Worthy,
Yeah.
and it kind of works out a decent amount of the time. So, at any moment, that seems like a solid play to me.
There aren't that many
bench, too.
quarterbacks that I'd rather have hucking the football in my flex than Patrick Mahomes.
But Jordan Love is one of those guys. He's
Yeah.
down there in the bench.
He's not afraid to chuck it.
3 guys doesn't matter.
Yeah, correct. He'll probably get a DPI call before the reception, but
Yeah.
Devonta Smith, Warren, Diggs, Dobbins. I mean, these guys are okay. There's not a ton of upside there. I mean, Devonta Smith should be pretty good this year, hopefully. Obviously, Jordan Love can have a good year. I don't know if you're really counting on him that much. Well, maybe you are. Kyler Murray up top. There's a world where there's many worlds in the multiverse that I'd be starting Jordan Love over Kyler Murray in. Not gonna lie. Rashid Shaheed has upside, and other than that, I mean, it's kind of just old man and depression. So
Yeah.
all right, Georgia's side: Lamar, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, nasty. Those 3 really good. Oh man. Aaron Jones also pretty good. Zach Charbonnet starting in your lineup week 1 is actually kind of wild. That's probably the worst start that we've seen so far going through these matchups. Jake, would you agree with that? There were some questionable ones, but I think that might be taking the cake for me.
Like I've got David Montgomery, but it's a completely different beast.
Oh yeah,
him as your second running
Dave
back.
Montgomery was good last year.
Yeah, David Montgomery is actually good, even as the second best running back on that team. But this is now he will be relevant when Kenneth Walker gets hurt in week 3. But this is tough to see him match up against his starter in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zach Charbonnet this year can be relevant in more of a Jordan Mason way, but I don't think that situation is as good. I think Charbonnet is going to be – his ceiling is capped unless Walker goes out. Unless Charbonnet gets goal line work, in which case, then we can talk.
Tough. Because I don't think he can start Caleb Johnson in week 1 either.
No, you can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a wrong start. I'm just saying it's really sad that you have to do it because, I mean, Ray Davis, Rashad White, and Caleb Johnson. And Caleb Johnson was listed as the 3rd running back on the depth chart to start the season, which doesn't mean much.
You can't do that week 1.
We do have the football terrorist in Pittsburgh. Is it Arthur Smith?
Yeah.
So I drafted Caleb Johnson in 1 league this year, and I'm kind of scared. I think Caleb Johnson is good, but I mean, we saw what Arthur Smith did to Bijan.
What he did to Kyle Pitts.
What he did to everybody, man. He's people throw the word or the phrase, I guess, football terrorist around in football quite a bit. But in my opinion, Arthur Smith is the one true football
He
terrorist.
might be the number one. Yeah.
I mean, there are very few guys that like I run from, and he's definitely one of them. Speaking of Colston Loveland, he's on Georgia's bench. Jacoby Myers in the lineup is good. I don't know about 16 points week one, but
Holy,
that seems
never
pretty
would have guessed
high.
that from week one.
I would think more in like the 13 to 15 range would be plenty. But he should be a PPR machine. I mean, he's the guy there other than Brock Bowers, so he should be seeing double-digit targets, I would think.
I can't remember who. I wish I remembered who, but someone from the Patriots. Oh no, this was just like a Patriots reporter or something.
Uh-huh.
Was making this comment that, of course, got shared to like a lot of Raiders fans, saying that going into week one, the only pass catcher the Raiders have is Brock Bowers. So we'll see if that gives Jacoby Myers some extra motivation. But
That's kind of
I forgot
crazy.
exactly how he phrased it, but it was funny that he literally just said, all they have is Brock Bowers. That's it.
I mean, I personally think that Jacoby Myers is a good NFL wide receiver, and I disagree. So, but I kind of get what you're saying.
And I'm a Dante Thornton Jr. guy.
You are. Yeah, I mean, he'll have opportunity. Jack Besh there, too. I know his camp reports haven't been very good, but, he's there. He's a rookie. So
Amari Cooper now, which we'll see how that.
True.
I don't understand. I actually feel like I haven't paid attention to it, but I also feel like I haven't heard anything since they signed him, and I'm pretty sure his projection was at like 5 or 6 points in the Dynasty League too. So I don't know what's going on there. I thought that it was going to be assumed that he'd be getting some work, but literally heard nothing.
Probably. I mean, who knows what kind of shape he was in, I guess. But
yeah,
he
was pretty
fair.
washed, but
yeah, he was. Roma Dunze on the bench. I like Justin Herbert quite a bit this year. I think in years past, I think his problem has been that they don't really have anybody catch football. I think that's changed this year with Keenan Allen coming back. They drafted Trey Harris. They have obviously Lab McConkey. They've got guys there. They're going to run the ball a lot, I think, though, so we'll see. But I think he's got upside. Pity City, Loveland, I mean, the rest of these guys are, maybe Brandon Ayuk comes back and he's relevant. We'll see. This is a tough one for me, man. Because George has these three guys, right? Lamar, Jefferson, and A.J. Brown. And that is nasty. He doesn't really have much else. So shout out your keepers, George. You did a shitty job drafting. Oh boy. I'm gonna take Lane.
I'm also taking Lane in this matchup.
I feel like if I'm gonna be wrong about one of my picks, this would be the pick to be wrong on. Oh, this is the marquee matchup too. So Jake, do you want me to pencil that in for you right now?
Oh, this doesn't raise the stakes. Holy. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I put it in there. All right, well.
Sunday night football, Monday night football. Are you gonna Lamar and Justin Jefferson.
True. Aaron Jones on Monday.
A lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great week one matchup.
George is gonna be down big going into Monday night, isn't he?
He is.
Nice. If Derrick Henry scores like 4 touchdowns, oh boy. Eat. All right, well, that is all of the matchups. We have predicted them. We have fast forwarded through them. Not very. I would say forwarded through them. I wouldn't say it was fast. And we've got the marquee matchup released. So that is Lane versus George. I will make a statement. Chat. Everybody votes. If you don't vote, well, tough shit. You don't get your fab. So.
Can't lose your fab if you get it wrong. He's already said it. I'm betting you'll announce it too again.
That is correct. Yeah, if you're wrong, you don't lose anything. You're not gambling fab. It's free money if you're right. Something fun to do. We can modify it next year if we want to add a wrinkle in there to gamble fab. I just feel like that might that sounds like a lot of work for me.
We were thinking of some real weird ways to do it during the draft.
I'm not holding a sports book here. I'm not Nelly,
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time, man. So, all right, well, I guess good luck to everybody except for Lemons and Brinkman. And we will be back here probably on Wednesday or so next week to report back our first official rewind. So, thanks everyone for listening. Jake, always a pleasure having you here. Catch you guys next time.